It's no secret that the NFL has its eyes on global expansion. The league has hosted several games all over the world in recent years in countries like Brazil, Mexico, the UK, and Germany. There are even games scheduled to be played in Spain, Ireland, and Australia in the near future. In addition to these international games between NFL teams, sources close to Commissioner Roger Goodell have long expressed that he aspires to launch new NFL teams based in Europe to join the current league. This expansion and growth of the NFL into a more global game begs the question of whether or not we should expect to see more international athletes starring for your favorite NFL teams. The NBA has welcomed stars from all over the world and embraced them as they've helped grow the league. Luka Doncic, Victor Wembanyama, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Nikola Jokic have become some of the league's icons and most marketable assets. The NFL's international players haven't quite reached that level of performance, but guys like All-Pro offensive tackle Jordan Mailata of the Eagles and former top 50 draft pick David Ojabo of the Ravens have both enjoyed a lot of success in NFL uniforms. The pathway to the NFL for these athletes is a lot different than what you see in the NBA though. The NFL Academy, which has campuses around the world to help develop international athletes' football abilities, has grown each year since being introduced in 2019. Many young international football players opt instead to move to the United States to attend high school and improve their chances of landing a college scholarship. That means that one way or another, fans should expect to see a ton more college football players with international backgrounds in the future. In fact, you may not have noticed, there have already been several of these athletes playing college ball in recent years, including one from a country you'd likely not expect, Egypt. Ahmed Hassanein is an Egyptian American who was born in the US but spent most of his youth in Egypt. While in Cairo, Ahmed was very involved in athletics, from combat sports like wrestling and boxing to things like swimming and CrossFit. He has stated on multiple occasions that athletics were a good outlet for him in Egypt, where he struggled with a difficult home situation and troubles at school. This athletic background, combined with his growing frame, which saw him reach 6'1" and 215 pounds by 15 years old, inspired his half-brother to introduce him to the game of football after visiting him in Cairo for the first time after several years. Before Ahmed's sophomore year of high school, he moved to California with his brother Corey, who was a football coach at Loara High School in Anaheim. Hassanein jumped in right away with the football team, which presented a steep learning curve. Obviously, things like formations and concepts were completely foreign to him as someone who had never played and really never even watched much football growing up. And that's not even to mention that Ahmed struggled to communicate. He wasn't a fluent English speaker when he arrived in the States. His coaches at Loara placed him on the defensive line because they felt that was the easiest position to master as a beginner, and his physical gifts allowed him to hold his own there pretty quickly. Ahmed worked hard to adjust to this new situation. Only 3 months after his move, he was able to effectively understand and speak English. He also made major strides on the football field, where he was making an impact in games about halfway through his first year. As time passed, not only did his knowledge of the game and how to play it improve, but he also developed a love and passion for the sport that led him to pursue football as a career. He and his brother made a plan to get him to Division I college football, which included things like waking up daily at 5 a.m., watching endless hours of film, altering his diet and training completely, and spending extra time on the field any chance he got. He put on more than 20 pounds between each season of high school football and improved his output on the field every year. The summer prior to his senior year of high school would be a crucial time for Ahmed to impress college scouts and coaches through prospect camps and combines. He and his brother would find out whether or not all their hard work and planning paid off during this time, but unfortunately, this was the summer of 2020. Camps, combines, and even the high school football season were suspended and canceled as a result of the pandemic. Corey frantically searched for an opportunity to get Ahmed on the radar of college coaches. He scoured his network and remembered that a college teammate of his at Azusa Pacific, Spencer Danielson, was now the defensive line coach at Boise State. Corey reached out to Spencer and sent tons of videos of the workouts Ahmed was doing while football activities were on hold. Spencer was impressed but still hesitant. Eventually, he decided to take the leap of faith, and Ahmed joined the Boise State program in 2021 to become the first Egyptian player in the history of Division I FBS football. This was a nerve-wracking experience for Coach Spencer Danielson, who was not 100% certain that Ahmed was exactly what he thought he might be. He and the rest of the Boise State coaching staff anxiously awaited his arrival to see if he was actually the size that he claimed. Once Ahmed stepped out of the car for the first time on campus, Danielson and staff were relieved to see that he was all that he was cracked up to be. Needless to say, he was not an immediate contributor for the Broncos. The coaching staff brought him along slowly, but his work ethic from high school endured. It was hard to keep him off the field, and he became a real contributor his sophomore season. He finished up with 13 tackles and 2 sacks in limited action, but this small sample size earned him the opportunity to step up as a full-time starter for Boise State in the 2023 season, and he broke out in a big way. Ahmed racked up 53 tackles and 12.5 sacks on the year. That sack total was the second highest in the Mountain West, and he earned a selection to the All-Conference First Team. By season's end, he was the face of the defense for a conference champion Boise State team, and analysts saw a huge future for him entering his senior year. His stats took a small dip in that senior year due to the attention he earned from opposing play callers, but he still racked up 48 tackles and 9.5 sacks en route to another first-team all-conference selection. By this point, Hassanein's dream of playing in the NFL was seeming like an inevitability. On paper, his stats spoke for themselves, but many pro scouts still hesitated on Ahmed. NFL scouts saw him as a very raw prospect entering the 2025 draft, and he did project a bit undersized as an NFL edge rusher. While it was nearly certain that he'd sign an undrafted free agent deal at a minimum, Ahmed and his family weren't sure that he would become the first Egyptian player drafted by an NFL team. His NFL Combine performance was impressive, especially in the position drills. His energy paired with his character in interviews with teams raised a lot of eyebrows among league scouts and executives, but he didn't dominate in any of the measurables or metrics. Instead, he put up above-average numbers pretty much everywhere. Teams pointed to his lack of technical skills as a pass rusher and less refined football instincts as knocks against him entering the draft. It was totally up in the air whether Ahmed would hear his name called by an NFL franchise. Day 1 and 2 of the draft came and went without the Boise State product hearing his name called, but that was no surprise. If he was going to be selected, it would be in the later rounds. Towards the end of Day 3, the Detroit Lions selected Ahmed with the 196th pick in the 6th round, making the first FBS football player from Egypt, the first one drafted to play in the NFL as well.
196th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Ahmed Hassanein.
Footage from the phone call made to him on draft day by the Lions was as wholesome as it gets, and it was clear that Ahmed couldn't wait to get to Detroit. He reported to training camp in Detroit this summer, where he's earned rave reviews from coaches citing his work ethic, adaptability, and physical strength. His name has appeared on more than a few lists of potential breakout rookies for this upcoming season, due especially to the Lions' relative weakness at his position. I would be surprised if Ahmed doesn't get a real opportunity to make an impact for the Lions this year, especially with Aiden Hutchinson coming off a gruesome injury that ended his 2024 season. I could see Ahmed functioning as a Swiss Army knife who can line up and hold his own at several spots along the defensive line with Detroit for many years. I could also very well see Ahmed cementing himself as the number 2 pass rusher for the Lions, opposite Hutchinson if the staff is willing to invest in his development. He has grown so much in such a short time, it feels as though the sky may be the limit for this rookie. So fans, keep an eye out for the first Egyptian NFL player this preseason. He could very well be the next big thing at the edge rusher spot in this league, and might just usher in a new era of international superstars in the sport of football. Regardless of how his NFL career pans out, Ahmed Hassanein can take pride in the fact that FBS college football players from Egypt are drafted by an NFL team 100% of the time. He is truly one of one, at least for now. The 2025 college football season will see the debut of Yahya Attia, an Egyptian-born player who will play his freshman season at Colorado for Coach Deion Sanders. It will be interesting to see if Yahya can replicate what Ahmed was able to do in college football. I'm certain that Ahmed Hassanein will keep an eye out for his countrymen throughout his college career. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and comment to let me know. There are several other athlete stories that I'd love to spotlight if there's an audience for it. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.